Thank you. Welcome to another edition of Fishmonger Stories. My name is George, but I go by the name Fishmonger Stories. Today, we are going to remember some of those unsung heroes that work in the hospitals, besides just, a registered nurse or a doctor or a CRNA or a pharmacist. There's a whole lot of people that work behind the scenes to make sure that your loved one gets the care that they need. I'm going to talk about those unsung heroes during this pandemic. Heroes like the environmental services, the people that clean the rooms to make sure that your loved one has fresh linen. They clean the emergency rooms, they clean the ORs after procedures, and only God knows the amount of fluids, bodily fluids that they come into contact with, and the strength of the chemicals that they have to constantly mix, and they breathe all that fume as they clean the ORs and clean the ERs after procedures. These are the unsung heroes that I'm talking about today. The security that during this pandemic been, do more than just sometimes security nowadays. They have to go through patient belongings and record them and provide patient belongings upon discharge. The transport the patients from their rooms to their procedures, and sometimes to their cars when they get discharged. The screeners that measure your temperature when you come in. These are the unsung heroes. The pharmacy technicians that bring the drugs back and forth, and God knows how many drugs we always need in the med surg or in the ICU. These are the unsung heroes. The physical therapists and the occupational therapists that work with your loved one with early mobility. These are the unsung heroes that I'm talking about. The EMT, the paramedics that you call, the first responders that come on site, administer rounds of CPR, or try to save your life, resuscitate you, bring you to the hospital. These are the unsung heroes. The SLPs, speech language pathologists, who help your loved one to see if they can swallow, after being intubated and after going through that recovery. Some people lose the ability to swallow, and we want to make sure that they can swallow properly. So speech language pathologists that do a swallow eval to make sure that the patients can swallow. These are the unsung heroes. The wound care specialists that monitor the wounds and tell us what kind of dressings to put on the wound. These are the unsung heroes. The social workers that connect the patients with the services, essential services that the patients need when they get discharged home. These are the unsung heroes. But today I'm going to talk to you about another unsung heroes called the phone liaisons. These are the people that connect your loved ones via Zoom. So you can call and see your loved one, because we know during this pandemic, family members have not been allowed to come to the hospital. So these phone liaisons, they connect families through phones, and you can watch your loved one, and it helps families make better decisions in terms of care. And sometimes they are the only people that stand in the room, holding a phone, so you can see your loved one, and say your buys. It is a tough job. It is an emotional job. It is mentally taxing. But these phone liaisons, they organize for Zooms, and families have been so appreciative of these services that some hospitals offer. A lot of hospitals have pretty much have had to offer these services, because you can't come to the hospital. So we avail FaceTime or Zoom or WhatsApp calls so you can see your loved ones. Fishmonger Stories. Today we are going to talk to one of those phone liaisons so you can hear our story.
We are currently doing video calls for families with the patients that are here in our hospital.
Okay.
We try and facilitate. I know during these times it's hard for people to come inside the hospital due to guidelines from CDC, but we do give that opportunity for families to see their loved ones through video calls.
And how is that working out? Is it easy?
It's challenging.
Okay.
It's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so is it just local calls, or you make these calls possible within international borders too?
We actually do with Mexico. We live right next to the border, so we have a lot of families that live in Mexicali, and it's challenging because they're not familiarized with Zoom, or
Okay.
some people don't have iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, this week we got a new application, which I believe everybody in Mexico is familiarized with, WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, I know the app, yes.
Yes, so that has been a great help to people that live in Mexico to be in communication with their loved ones here in the hospital.
So family members, do they really appreciate these services that you offer?
Yes.
Phone calls?
Yes, families are completely grateful. Personally, I know it doesn't compare to be physically present with the patient here in the hospital, but I'm glad that I can bring some type of comfort to these families during these hard times of not being able to come in and be with their loved ones here in the hospital.
It must be awfully busy because no one is allowed in the hospital. How do you
Yes.
do it?
You know, we take it day by day. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
we do get a lot of family members that want to come in,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to be very sympathetic to them and let them know, you know what, for your safety right
Yes.
now, we are not allowing any visitors. And that's when we do offer the video calls, the Zooming, and the family and the public has responded really well to that. And they've been grateful.
How is it working out? Has it been smooth running? Because I'm sure there's a lot of difficulties, not just for you, but for family members and, emotionally.
Yes. I feel that people have a concept of COVID, of
Yes.
how patients look, even family members, they have an idea of how
They look
but when I actually turn the tablet over
and they
and they see it, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's really hard. We have patients that are intubated,
Yes.
that are completely sedated.
Yes.
They're asleep, and it's very tough for the family, especially for little kids. I hear them crying and yelling for their nanas, tatas, grandma, grandpa.
Oh.
It's really, really tough. And that's why we advise, before every video call, we do tell the family members, be prepared, mentally, emotionally, that this is going to be a tough call. So we do give them kind of a heads up, but it's still emotional when I turn that tablet over. It's hard.
And sometimes you do end of life calls to the bedside.
Yes, we do. I actually go into COVID rooms with COVID patients, and I'm there witnessing the call, and it's very emotional for me too, even though I don't know the patient. The conversations that I hear sometimes, it gets to me. I'm human, and it breaks my heart to see how people think this is not real. It's real.
It's
real. Ladies and gentlemen, it's super real, and I wouldn't wish this to my
How has this affected you personally?
Personally, it's affected me greatly. At times I've thought about maybe this is not the right job for me. Being there, witnessing death sometimes, that family members want to be present when we disconnect the patient. It's really hard for me. I have to go back to my family, and I bring all that with me, not intentionally, but how can I put it?
You're only human.
Yes, I'm only human, and it breaks my heart. It hurts me. It gets to me to see the pain, the agony, the anguish the family go through. And this is every day. I experiment this every single day, and every single day it gets to me. You don't get used to death. And I try not to bring it home, but it's hard. It's hard not taking it home when you see this on a daily basis, 8 hours a day. It's challenging.
And then you have to come back and do it again the following day.
And I come back the next day and do it all over again.
And now you've been doing it for the past almost 10 months, almost a year now.
Yes, for the past 10 months. but we just have to think positive that this is going to end. People follow safety regulations, protect yourself. Teens, this past weekend, I told my husband, let's go and see what's going on this afternoon. And we passed by a bar. It was infested with people, young people. And what they don't see is that, yes, you might think you have a strong immune system, but if you get it, you go back home with your parents, with your grandparents, and you're taking it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So just be considerate of other people, and that they might get sick and they might die. So protect yourself, protect your family around you, protect your parents, because it's easy to say, oh, I'm strong and whatnot, but actually having COVID, even young people I've seen here in the hospital, and they've unfortunately passed away. And just keep in mind that this COVID virus doesn't respect age, doesn't know any social class. Just please take care of yourself and eat healthy, stay active, and protect yourself as much as you can.
Amen. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.